My sister Hailey always pretended to be noble. After being hit by a luxury car and injured, she adamantly refused any compensation. Because of my firm stance, the car owner eventually paid for her hospital bills. But instead of being grateful, Hailey told me my actions almost made her lose face, claiming that with her noble character, she surely could have captivated the wealthy car owner and eventually married into their prestigious family. She pushed me from the 12th floor, but instead of falling to my death, I returned to the moment she had just been hit by the car. I only suffered minor injuries. I can just go home and rest. Your injuries look quite severe. Perhaps you should go to the hospital. Even though you violated traffic laws, you're still hurt, and I'll cover the hospital fees. No, this isn't your fault. It's all because of my carelessness. Hailey's left leg was bleeding, a sight painful to behold, yet she still angled her most beautiful side towards Mr. Liu, the car owner. Then she called out, "Hannah, quickly help me up, let's go home." This scene, I had experienced it in my previous life. Mr. Liu, the car owner, was Lucas Liu, a young master from a wealthy family. Although the accident was mostly Hailey's fault, he generously offered to pay for her hospital treatment. Hailey, of course, refused. I knew our current financial situation wasn't enough to cover Hailey's subsequent medical expenses. I worried that if delayed, her leg might become permanently disabled. So, behind her back, I secretly sought out Lucas Liu to ask for compensation for the hospital bills. Upon learning of this, Hailey was furious with me. If you hadn't meddled with my noble character, I would have surely left a deep impression on Lucas Liu. If he had developed feelings for me, I could have married into a prestigious family. But now, everything is ruined because of you. Now I text him, and he doesn't even bother to reply. Then she pushed me from the 12th floor. As I fell, I could still hear her deranged voice. "Don't worry, I won't let you die in vain. Once you're dead, I'll go to Lucas Liu," crying and recounting how you felt remorseful for accepting his compensation, felt ashamed, and committed suicide. With a sister who knew her mistakes and corrected them, he would surely change his perception of me. I had long known Hailey pretended to be noble, but I never imagined she could be so deranged. Fortunately, I didn't end up shattered on the ground but returned to the past. This time, if I wasn't firm, I wanted to see if she could keep that leg of hers. I rushed over to help Hailey up and said to Lucas Liu, "My sister knows her body best. If she says she's fine, then she's fine. You look like you're rushing to catch a flight, don't you? You should leave quickly before you're late." Lucas Liu was indeed in a hurry. Seeing Hailey's theatrical display, he didn't think her injuries were serious. So, he left his business card and departed. I turned to Hailey, "Let's go home." Hailey yelled at me, "Go home, we're going to the hospital. Can't you see how badly I'm injured?" I feigned ignorance. "But didn't you just say it was only superficial and you'd be fine after a few days' rest?" "Oh, so it's serious? Then I should call Lucas Liu right away. He hasn't boarded his flight yet, there's still time for him to come back." Hailey quickly said, "No, don't call him. This is my business, don't bother him." But I asked back, "Then do you have money for the hospital bills?" Hailey said smugly, "I don't, but didn't you just receive a scholarship?" HMPH, so calculating. From childhood, she had always been like this, always feigning generosity, giving her things to others, then turning around and taking mine. All the praise went to her, while calamities befell me. When I was in 11th grade, our neighbor, Uncle Wang's house, had a gas explosion due to improper use. Our parents died in that incident. Hailey had always liked Uncle Wang's son, Leo, so when Leo came to our house to discuss compensation, my sister generously declared, "Leo has suffered enough already, there's no need to compensate us." Hailey used our parents' death as a stepping stone to get closer to the man she admired. Who knew Leo would use it as an excuse, claiming that my parents' improper use of gas caused the explosion. But my parents were always careful, using gas for years without any problems. Why did an explosion happen precisely when his family was visiting? Although the fire started at our house, who's to say your family didn't leave the gas on? If not, why refuse compensation? Clearly, you have something to hide. The neighbors heard this and believed him, turning to criticize our family, even demanding we compensate them. At that time, Hailey was already in college, so she had an excuse to escape. Before leaving, she left me with the phrase, The innocent don't need to explain. Then took all the money our parents had left and continued to live her luxurious life. Poor me, still in high school with nowhere to run. I had to endure the stares and curses of the neighbors while also earning money to support myself. Some sympathetic neighbors brought me old clothes and leftover food. Yet, news of this reached Hailey. She stormed over to their houses, creating a scene, saying they looked down on our family, treating me like a beggar. Then she turned to scold me. Did you learn nothing from your studies? Don't you know that helping at the wrong time is no help at all? If Mom and Dad knew you were begging for food, they would be heartbroken. I retorted, if Mom and Dad knew you blamed them for blowing up the entire floor, they'd be too busy scolding you to care about me. Of course, Hailey would not feel remorse. She just looked at me with an expression of disappointment and sighed, as if she were utterly helpless. In those years, Hailey lived like a ghost, never caring for me even once, but occasionally she would rise from her grave, shattering the rare peace I managed to find. Each time she appeared, she would go wild, lashing out at everyone, causing those who genuinely wanted to help me to keep their distance, fearing her trouble. Until a year ago, Hailey suddenly returned, saying nothing about the years that had passed, but her appearance spoke volumes. The money our parents left had been completely squandered. I didn't care much, spending most of my time at school. I was out today because I had persuaded our parents to visit their graves when this happened. When Lou's car approached, Hailey, as if possessed, dashed into the middle of the road. Thinking back, she must have known exactly who was driving the car and deliberately staged the accident. It wasn't just a small amount of hospital money she wanted, but the dream of becoming a rich wife. In my previous life, even though we didn't get along, she was my only relative. Yet, she killed me just to meet Lou. I don't need to consider such a person family anymore, or even human. She wants me to pay her hospital bills. No way. I said, my scholarship money has already been used to register for grad school entrance exam prep classes. I don't have any money left. If you have money, let's go to the hospital. If not, then go home. Or, I can call Lou so he can pay for your hospital bills. You choose. Predictably, Hailey chose to go home. At that moment, due to the pain and adrenaline, she hadn't fully grasped the severity of her injury. She thought a few days' rest would fix it. On the way home, I picked up 2 sturdy branches to use as crutches for her. After getting her home, I prepared to leave. Hailey was displeased. What do you mean? I'm so seriously injured, aren't you going to stay and take care of me? I replied, Sister, college is very busy. I don't have time to take care of you, but I believe you can take care of yourself. Hailey yelled, what the hell are you talking about? As if I've never been to college. What's so busy about college? It's not like you can't spare a little time. Have you forgotten when Mom and Dad first passed away? You told me exactly that. You said college was so busy, you had no time for me, and you trusted I would manage. At that time, I wasn't even an adult, didn't even have money for food, yet I survived. Now you're all grown up, it certainly won't be a problem for you. Keep fighting, I believe in you. Before leaving, I even gave her a wink. Hailey tried to chase me, but with her current leg, how could she catch up? I returned to school and lived a peaceful life. At first, Hailey would still call me, giving orders, but seeing that I paid no attention, she gradually fell silent. I calculated the time and felt her leg probably couldn't hold out any longer, so I specially returned to the family home. Arriving home, I saw the dining table laden with takeout containers filled with leftovers, next to them several boxes of pain medication. Hailey lay on the bed, her hair and clothes drenched with sweat from the pain. She weakly told me, "Take me to the hospital." Of course, I immediately called an ambulance. I knew any further delay and she would die. Not because I pitied her, but because dying right then would be too easy for her. I wanted her to clearly see what kind of end her nobility would lead to. Without my interference, her dream of marrying into wealth wouldn't even begin. Indeed, as I predicted, her injured leg could not be saved. If she had gone to the hospital in time in the previous life, the leg could have been saved. But in this life, because she didn't want to accept Lou's help and was too stingy to pay for medical treatment, she ended up in this predicament. To agree to the surgery, I woke her up to sign the consent form herself. Hailey, of course, wanted to play dead so I would sign for her, making me responsible. But I didn't care because whether she had surgery or not wouldn't affect my life. It was best to let her hover between life and death. If she truly died, I would only lose a bit of entertainment. Compared to the future risks I would have to bear, it was nothing. I even told the doctor to stop her pain medication. She no longer had the chance to feign death. I just sat there and watched. Finally, she couldn't bear it anymore and signed the surgical consent form herself. After she signed the surgery papers, I threw a house sale contract at her. As soon as Hailey clearly saw the contents, she screamed at me, "That house in Lower Hamlet is the only thing Mom and Dad left us. How could you sell it so easily? Even at this point, you still intend to use morality to bind others. Mom and Dad didn't just leave us that house. Didn't you already spend all of it? If selling the house didn't require both parties to sign, that house would be gone by now. You need money for surgery now. If you don't want to sell the house, that's fine. I'll call Mr. Liu. I'm sure he'll be happy to help." The 3 words, Mr. Liu, were like a magic spell. Every time I mentioned him, Hailey would concede, and this time was no exception. She signed the house sale contract. Hailey's surgery was considered a success. The lower part of her left leg below the knee was amputated. Although Hailey was now disabled, her dream of marrying into wealth had not yet faded. After surgery, she constantly posted pictures of her amputated leg on social media, trying to attract Mr. Liu's attention. Unexpectedly, he actually saw it. Mr. Liu commented, asking where she was hospitalized. Hailey replied, "I can take care of myself, don't let it interfere with your work, uncle." She then posted a selfie, intentionally showing the hospital's name on her bedside chart. The next day, Mr. Liu actually appeared. "I'm sorry, I didn't realize the situation was this serious. If I had known, I wouldn't have rushed to school but taken you to the hospital." Hailey said, "I don't blame you, uncle. I also didn't realize it was so serious. I believe this is a challenge heaven has given me. As long as I overcome it with strength and optimism, I will surely gain something." I secretly thought to myself, whether her fake nobility was real or not was unknown, but she was truly stupid. So much so that I began to doubt if we were even full sisters. I didn't understand whose brain she had. My parents weren't like that. Seeing her talk on and on without getting to the main point, I felt impatient on her behalf. I interjected, "Have you thought about what kind of prosthetic leg you want? In my opinion, don't be stingy, choose the most expensive one." Lucas Liu said, "You haven't ordered a prosthetic leg yet. Then I'll contact the best manufacturer and I'll cover the cost." Hailey immediately replied, "No, I can't use your money, uncle. Even if I lose a leg, I cannot lose my noble dignity." I said, "Mr. Liu, you don't need to worry. We've sold the house my parents left, so we now have money to buy a prosthetic leg for my sister. Mr. Liu, you don't need to worry." Lucas Liu asked, "If you sold the house, where will the 2 of you live? Your sister in this condition can no longer work as an office worker, but if she works as a live-in nanny, she might still have some competitive edge. After all, your sister did go to college. She could talk to elderly people or tutor children." Hearing me, Lucas Liu seemed to be inspired. "My elder brother's child is staying with me, and my mother is exhausted from taking care of him. How about your sister becomes a nanny at my house? We'll provide full room and board, plus an extra 10,000 yuan salary each month." At first, hearing the word nanny, Hailey was furious, but seeing Mr. Liu's attitude, she immediately changed her expression. Hailey understood very well that this was the best opportunity to get closer to Lucas Liu. So, half reluctantly, half eagerly, she agreed. A decision that made all 3 of us happy. Lucas Liu felt he had repaid a debt. Hailey thought she had a chance to enter a prestigious family, and I was happy because I had finally gotten her out of my life. Most importantly, she now had a legitimate reason to get close to Lucas Liu, no longer fantasizing about killing me to make me her stepping stone. As for Hailey's theory of getting what you want if you get close enough, please spare me. What wealthy family marries a Cinderella? Mr. Liu already had a fiancé. Childhood sweethearts from matching families, no less. But regardless, it didn't stop Mr. Liu from having affairs. The elder brother's child, he mentioned, was actually Mr. Liu's illegitimate son. If Hailey were a normal, healthy person, perhaps she could have had a fleeting romance with Mr. Liu. But in her current state, if she were content to be a nanny, she might have a path to survival. But if she harbored ulterior motives, she wouldn't even know why she died. Hailey immediately accepted the job upon discharge from the hospital. She was truly eager to build relationships with Mr. Liu's family. With her background as a kindergarten teacher, she knew how to win over children and quickly won over the boy named Little Bao, becoming the only person Little Bao allowed to feed him. Hailey's words were sweet, and she always presented herself as a noble and virtuous person, which temporarily reassured Mr. Liu's mother. Of course, she was reassured about Hailey's qualifications as a helper, not as a daughter-in-law. Mrs. Liu was already exhausted from her grandchild, so with someone to help look after him, she immediately packed her bags and went abroad. Mr. Liu also often traveled for business, so in that house, the one with the biggest say was Little Bao. Although Hailey was very fond of Little Bao, another rival was also beloved by Little Bao, the family dog. In other words, in Little Bao's heart, Hailey's role was on par with a dog. But Hailey didn't think so. She felt one half of her leg had already stepped into a prestigious family. Haha, was that half the one that was amputated? I knew everything about Hailey as if it were the back of my hand, thanks to the 800 boastful messages she sent me every day, as if she used our chat window as a diary. If conditions allowed, she would surely want to turn every day of her life into a documentary. Unfortunately, conditions didn't allow, so she took a step back and created a personal video account. Online, she portrayed herself as a wealthy lady, daily filming the flower garden, the swimming pool in the villa, and even Mrs. Liu's dressing room, making countless netizens admire her. Hailey loved the image of a wealthy matriarch she had fabricated, and she was lost in the admiration and envy of netizens, almost believing she was truly the young madam of the Liu family. She even dared to show off in front of Mr. Liu's fiancé, earning a slap across the face. Did she really think Mr. Liu liked her? If not for the relationship between their two families, would Mr. Liu ever get engaged to that fiancé? A distinguished young lady, what kind of noblewoman frequently enters someone's house before marriage? How is that anything like a lady from a prominent family? How could she be so disrespectful? I was still feeding Little Bao. She snatched the chopsticks and ate first. Didn't she think to wait for me to eat with her? Why aren't you saying anything? Are you listening? Yes, I'm listening. Please continue. I ate my dinner while listening to Hailey complain. Of course, I was listening. Compared to TV dramas, these stories were much better. After all, I couldn't hack into the Liu family's camera system, so the only way to find out what hornet's nest she had poked now was to rely on her, my only source of information. I was like a sidekick in a comedy skit, not only having to chime in, but also subtly guide the conversation to extract the information I wanted. Wasn't he trampling on your noble dignity? Did you just put up with it? Of course, I didn't put up with it. I immediately argued with him on the spot. To teach him a lesson, I flung all the food on the table onto the floor. As a result, he slapped me and called me crazy. Didn't you say Little Bao was very fond of you? Didn't he stand up for you? That brat is an ungrateful wretch. I treated him so well, but when he saw me being bullied, not only did he not help, he even told Lucas Liu that I didn't feed him and asked him to fire me. This time, I sided with Little Bao. Little Bao just wanted someone to feed him and play with him a bit. But before he could even eat, you ran off to fight with someone. Who could stand that? Don't even mention a kid like Little Bao. Even I wouldn't defend you in that situation. Mr. Liu's fiancé is from a distinguished family. Even Mr. Liu himself wouldn't dare offend her. Not firing Hailey would be out of the question. I asked, did Mr. Liu just fire you like that? Didn't he say anything about compensation for a few months' salary? She said, he did say something, but I didn't accept it. A person must have integrity. If it's not mine, I won't take it. How would people look at me if I took that money? Oh, my goodness. That worn-out old line again. I'm sick of hearing it. What about after this? What after this? Hailey said. I have nowhere to stay now. Let me stay with you for a few days, a month at most. Then the Liu family will invite me back. I really wanted to watch the show, but I didn't want to bring more trouble home, so I immediately refused. I said my dorm was inconvenient. She said, don't think I don't know you rent a house outside. You don't welcome me, do you? Don't forget who fed you and raised you. I said, I haven't forgotten. I got to where I am today thanks to the restaurant that let me wash dishes, the shopping mall that let me hand out flyers, and all the parents who hired me to tutor their children. Of course, you also played a significant negative role. If you hadn't gone crazy everywhere time and again, my life would have been much easier. Hailey said, "Hannah, you ungrateful wretch. Good thing I saw through your nature early, so I didn't invest too much effort and money in you. You don't want to recognize me as your sister anymore, do you?" I said, "I don't even want a sister like you. From today on, we cut ties as sisters. If I ever make it big, even if you kneel and beg me, it'll be useless." I returned her words, "From now on, we are no longer sisters. If you ever fall on hard times, don't come looking for me. It will be pointless." Hailey angrily hung up. I thought Hailey would live in the lowest rung of society from then on, paying the price for her so-called integrity. Unexpectedly, a month later, she returned to the Liu family's house. I saw her fake wealthy madam video account start updating again, all videos of the Liu family villa. At first, I thought she was posting pre-recorded videos until I saw a clip of the flower garden. Snow was falling in the garden. It was indeed this season. I was completely shocked. Hailey really had the ability to return to the Liu family. Mr. Liu and even his fiancée could endure her. So I started investigating. Following Mr. Liu's fiancée's WBO, Weibo-like platform, following list, I searched for her comments everywhere and finally pieced together the whole story. It turned out that not long before, Hailey had said she missed Little Bao and went to his kindergarten to pick him up after school, just to see him. Unexpectedly, as Little Bao left the school gate, he encountered kidnappers. Hailey fiercely resisted but couldn't overpower them, so both were taken. Throughout the kidnapping, Hailey fearlessly protected Little Bao, preventing him from being harmed and meticulously caring for him. Because of this, Little Bao became even more dependent on her. The outcome was considered perfect. Little Bao was safe and sound. The kidnappers got their money. Hailey, though slightly injured, was able to return to the Liu family because of it. Perhaps it was also thanks to the image she had already cultivated that no one suspected her role in this kidnapping. But I knew Hailey too well, especially how suspiciously coincidental everything was. She had once firmly declared that she would return to the Liu family within a month at the latest, so I couldn't help but suspect that this kidnapping might have been part of Hailey's plan. After all, in her previous life, she even killed her own sister just to have an excuse to get close to Mr. Liu. There's no limit to evil deeds. Hailey had provided clues to the kidnappers so they could get the ransom, and she got to resume her dream of marrying into a wealthy family. One needed fire, the other had matches. Their needs aligned perfectly, and they immediately conspired. But currently I had no proof, only my suspicions. Don't even mention the police, not even Mr. Liu would believe me. But no rush, this was just Hailey's first step. She was still far from her goal of marrying Mr. Liu. To continue towards that goal, she would surely employ more clandestine tricks. The longer it took, the more opportunities I would have to catch her. Right now, I was busy studying for my grad school exams, with no time to concern myself with her. But I had registered a secondary account and sent a private message to Mr. Liu on WBO, suggesting that Hailey's appearance at the kidnapping scene was too coincidental, urging him to be wary of her. I had done what I could. The rest was up to Mr. Liu. Next, I began my intensive exam preparation, working day and night. During this entire period, I paid no attention to news from Hailey's side, but if she hadn't come looking for me, she must have still been surviving. She once said something about waiting until she made it big and telling me not to come begging her. If she said that, she truly meant it, but if she was truly in dire straits, she would certainly not let me go. When I finished with my exams, it was almost the anniversary of my parents' death. I bought fresh flowers to visit their grave, and unexpectedly I met Hailey, who had also come to visit. After lighting incense, Hailey said she wanted to invite me to dinner to warm up our sisterly bond. I knew perfectly well that warming up our bond was false. Showing off her current life was the truth. It just so happened that I also wanted to extract more clues from her, so I agreed. During the meal, Hailey ceaselessly bragged about her life in the wealthy family. Every day, I just need to play with Little Bao or chat with Mrs. Liu. Everyone likes me. Little Bao even said he wished he had a mother like me. I replied, "Oh, so when do you and Lucas Liu plan to get married? Why didn't you share this good news with our parents just now? I'm sure they would be very happy in the afterlife." Hearing me, the carefully made-up face of Hailey finally showed a crack. She fiddled with the hem of her dress and replied, "Uncle Lou still can't accept my disability, but he will soon, very soon." It was unclear whether she was saying that to me or comforting herself. After finishing her boasting, I no longer had any value to her. Hailey told me, "Are you done eating? If you're done, you can go. I have other plans." As soon as she finished speaking, I saw a man wearing a hat and a fully covered mask walking towards us. Hailey had already dismissed me, and I had no reason to stay. Although very curious, I obediently left. I didn't go far, hiding outside the restaurant. I waited a long time before seeing Hailey and the man leave together. When they came out, the man had removed his hat and mask. Thanks to that, I recognized who he was, Leo, our old neighbor from many years ago. My parents had died in the gas explosion caused by his family's improper use. That year, to curry favor with Leo, Hailey was even falsely accused by him. Yet now, after so many years, I saw these two secretly meeting again. What on earth was it about? I thought of the kidnapping Hailey had experienced. My intuition told me there was a connection between these two events. I found an old neighbor and asked about Leo's current situation. "Leo, he's doing well lately. I heard he made a fortune doing business in the South and paid off all his debts. But I still see him acting shifty. He doesn't look like an honest businessman. It's ridiculous. How could a thug who was always fighting like him get rich?" A thug suddenly getting rich, all the clues finally connected. At that time, Hailey had nowhere to go, trying to do something to attract the Liu family's attention, seeking an opportunity to return to the prestigious family. Just then, she met Leo again, a man as dark-hearted and vicious as herself. Thus, a kidnapping plan was formed. Hailey not only provided information to Leo, but also acted as an inside mole for him throughout the kidnapping. As a result, both achieved their goals. But now the two were secretly meeting again. For what? The previous deal was over, yet they were still meeting in secret. There was only one possibility. They were preparing for a new plan. I suddenly recalled Hailey's words. "Uncle Lou said he could accept me very soon." That immediately made me think their next target was Luca's Lou. I didn't know what the two were about to do, but if I waited until it happened, it might be too late to stop it. After much hesitation, I decided to contact Luca's Lou directly. I clearly stated my purpose. I suspected Hailey could cause him harm and wanted to meet him to talk. Unexpectedly, Mr. Lou agreed very quickly. After asking where I was, he said he would come to meet me. When we met, he got straight to the point. "Tell me, what do you know? Why do you think so?" I replied, "It was indeed a bit abrupt to ask you to meet Uncle. But if I don't say anything, both you and I might regret it for the rest of our lives. What I'm about to say is just speculation, without proof. Do you want to hear it?" Mr. Lou asked back, "Were you the one who sent the private message saying Hailey might have been involved in the kidnapping?" "Yes, it was me, but those were all speculations, without concrete evidence. If I had any, I wouldn't have messaged you, but reported it to the police." You asked, "Hailey is your biological sister. Can you tell me why you suspect her?" I said, "Hailey has always been very selfish, but always loved to appear noble and self-respecting. Do you remember the first time you met her? That day, my sister and I were walking on the street. She saw your car approaching and deliberately ran in front of it. I guess she did that to have an opportunity to connect with you. Then, she intentionally refused to let you take her to the hospital to show her nobility and make a deep impression on you. But she didn't expect the injury to be so serious. Her purpose is very clear. She wants to become your daughter-in-law, and the prerequisite is to be by your side and build goodwill. Therefore, she absolutely had to stay at your house. The most important thing is that the last time she was kicked out of your house, she told me that at most, you would bring her back within a month. And it really happened that way, which is very suspicious." After saying these words, I looked at Mr. Lou and asked, "Do you believe me?" Mr. Lou replied, "I'm not some playboy who just waits to die. Hailey's appearance in the kidnapping incident was indeed too coincidental, but like you, I have no proof. I let her stay at my house to observe her, to see when she would reveal a weakness." "Oh, really?" I put my hands together and bowed slightly, saying, "So it turns out I was being nosy." "No, I still have to thank you very much. As the saying goes, a thief can steal for 1,000 days, but no one can guard for 1,000 days. The more I know, the better I can prepare. Tell me your suspicions. What does Hailey plan to do next?" I said, "She thinks the reason you haven't accepted her is because of her prosthetic leg, so I suspect she wants to make you disabled too, to be a match for her." Mr. Liu was horrified. She wouldn't be that crazy, would she? I thought to myself, this is nothing. In my previous life, to get close to you, she even killed me. This time, just making you disabled, she's still holding back. I told Mr. Liu everything I knew, considering my mission complete. Next, it was time for the CEO to take action. Half a month later, Mr. Liu contacted me. He said, "Leo tampered with my car brakes. He was caught red-handed. Leo has been arrested. My people have been tracking him for a long time and have collected enough key evidence." He had no way to deny it and finally confessed everything. He confessed that Hailey instigated him to do it, saying that as long as she made me disabled, she would marry into the Liu family as the young madam. After marrying, she would give him 10 million as remuneration. As for the kidnapping, Leo initially denied it, but he couldn't explain the sudden large sum of money, so he eventually bowed his head and pleaded guilty. "Oh, really?" I asked. "So was Hailey arrested?" "She ran away, also taking quite a few assets from my house," Mr. Liu said. "She considered herself noble, yet she did such a thing, but she probably hasn't run far. When she was stealing the assets, little Bao caught her. The 40 kg boy lunged at her to grab them back. Although he couldn't keep the assets, he did manage to pull off her prosthetic leg." "Really?" I asked. "I called you to remind you," Mr. Liu said. "If Hailey comes looking for you, improvise, but remember to ensure your safety and find an opportunity to report to the police." Mr. Liu's words immediately raised my guard. I was always wary of Hailey appearing, but I waited many days and still received no news from her. Hailey had vanished without a trace. The police had already notified all facilities that could make prosthetic legs to cooperate with the investigation. If anyone matching Hailey's description was found, they were to report it immediately. Yet, despite this, no one found any trace of her. She only had one healthy leg left. Who knew what she could do? Days passed, and in a blink, I was about to graduate from grad school. I had received a job offer from a large company, about to embark on a new life. Just then, I received a phone call from the police, news about Hailey. To be precise, it was news that she had died. It turned out that Hailey had planned to flee with the money, but before she could get far, she was targeted by human traffickers and sold into a remote mountain village. For the past 2 years, Hailey was treated no better than an animal. In such places, to prevent kidnapped women from escaping, they often break their legs. In Hailey's condition, they considered it less trouble. In that village, another girl was also kidnapped, but her family was well off. They spent a large sum of money to find their daughter, eventually tracing her whereabouts and leading the police to rescue her. Hailey was discovered at that time, but she was afraid her past actions would be exposed, so she didn't want to return with the police. Initially, she hid her real name, and later on the way, she tried to escape but unfortunately fell into a ravine. When the police found her, she had been dead for a long time. I was the one who received Hailey's body. I scattered her ashes into the sea. That was the end. Our parents gave her a place to go, but she chose her own way back.